Hello everyone and welcome to Electrical Engineering and Control Theory tutorials. In this tutorial, we explain how to derive a transfer function of the RC or the resistor capacitor circuit. So let's immediately start. Let's first briefly analyze this circuit. The circuit consists of three components. It consists of the capacitor, resistor, and this voltage source. We assume that the voltage Vi of t, where t is time, is the input voltage, and we assume that Vo of t is the output voltage. That is, we assume that the output voltage is the voltage across the terminals of the capacitor. Our goal is to derive the transfer function from the input voltage, that is from Vi of t, to the output voltage, that is to the Vo of t. There are at least two approaches to solve this problem. The first approach is to write a differential equation describing the dynamics of this system and then to perform the Laplace transform. Another approach, which is easier and which we follow in this video tutorial, is to use the impedances. Namely, instead of every electrical component such as resistor or capacitor, we can add impedance. In that way, instead of R, we add the complex impedance called Z1 of S, and instead of C, we add a complex impedance Z2 of S. In this way, we transform the circuit in the complex S domain, and then we can use simple algebraic equations and algebraic manipulations to determine the transfer function. So let's follow that approach. First of all, let's introduce the Laplace transforms. The Laplace transform of Vi of t is denoted as capital Vi of s, and it is equal to Laplace transform operator of the time domain signal Vi of t. Here we are following the standard notation, namely we are using lowercase letters to denote the signals in the time domain, and we use the capital letters to denote the signals in the transformed S domain. Similarly, the Laplace transform of the output voltage is denoted as capital V O of S, and it's equal to Laplace transform of the time domain signal V O of t. Next, let's write the impedances. Impedance Z1 of S, that is the impedance of the resistor, is equal to R. On the other hand, the impedance of the capacitor, that is Z2 of S, is equal to 1 over Cs, where C is the capacitance. If you're not sure how these equations are derived, then go to our YouTube page and there is a separate videos explaining how to derive the impedances for the capacitor, resistor, and inductor. Our goal is to derive a transfer function, which we denote by W of S, and this transfer function is equal to the ratio of Vo of S, that is the Laplace transform of the output, over the Laplace transform of the input, that is Vi of S. Okay, let's start with derivations. First of all, from this circuit over here and from the definition of impedances, we have that Vi of S minus Vo of S over Z1 of S is equal to Vo of S over Z2 of S. If we multiply this equation by the product of impedances Z1 of S multiplying Z2 of S, we obtain the following expression. Namely, on the left-hand side, in parentheses, we will have Vi of S minus Vo of S multiplying Z2 of S. And on the right-hand side, we will simply have Vo of S multiplying Z1 of S. Now we can group the terms. On the left, we can leave Vi of S, and on the right, we are going to move everything that depends on Vo of S. Consequently, on the left-hand side, we have Vi of S multiplying Z2 of S. And on the right-hand side, we have the following. We have VO of S, and in the parentheses we will have Z1 of S plus Z2 of S. And finally, our transfer function becomes VO of S over VI of S, and we have, let's see, what do we have? We have in the numerator Z2 of S, and in the denominator Z1 of S plus Z2 of S. And that's it. The next step is to substitute the impedances in this expression. Here, for clarity, I've wrote again the derived expressions, and here are the impedances. So let's substitute these impedances. As the result, we obtain V of S over VI of S. And on the right-hand side, instead of Z2 of S, we can write 1 over CS. Then in the numerator, instead of Z1, we can write R plus 1 over CS. And after we solve, or better to say simplify, this equation, we obtain 1 over CS in the numerator, and the denominator we can group the terms like this. Here we will have RCS plus 1, and finally we can cancel this term, and the final form of the transfer function looks like this. It is very nice, and it can provide us a lot of insights into the behavior of this circuit. Namely, over here we will have 1 over 1 plus RCS. And that's it. Obviously, this is a low-pass filter. Namely, we can see this term 1 plus RCS. This tells us that this circuit behaves as a low-pass filter. And in the future video tutorials, we will explain how to simulate the dynamics of this circuit, and we will explain and we will give more insights into dynamics such as breakout frequency, etc. Here, I will briefly explain how to derive the cutoff frequency of this circuit. The magnitude gain of the frequency response of this circuit is given as follows. M of omega, where omega is a radial frequency, is equal to 1 over square root of 1 plus omega squared, r squared, and c squared. Now, we know that the cutoff frequency is the frequency for which the magnitude is equal to 1 over square root of 2. That is, this term over here in the denominator has to be square root of 2. Obviously, this happens when omega is 1 over RC. And this is precisely the cutoff frequency that we usually denote by C. If we want to get the frequency in hertz, we can simply divide this by 2 pi. So the frequency in hertz is equal to 1 over RC multiplying 2 pi. The cutoff frequency is very important, since after this cutoff frequencies, that is for frequencies larger than the cutoff frequency, this filter will have the gain of -2 dBs per decade. And this will be explained in the future video tutorials. Okay, that's all for today. I hope that you like this video. If you like the videos I'm creating, please press the like and subscribe buttons, and see you in the next video tutorial.